to it than, you know.
It's a mental story.
Let's finish the story about how you met your girlfriend.
Yeah.
After 1 hour.
Oh yeah. That was ages ago.
I cannot wait to try and write the fucking intro for this. I have to fit this shit into.
I can't wait to fucking edit this.
Jesus. I'm gonna be like Marlon. It's like I cut it down to half an hour. Why? Because you were talking shit.
How long does it usually take to edit one of these?
It depends. Like, if there's not much like to take
I have
out,
to say,
there's not that much.
a lot of fun.
Like the my you seen the my episode is like that was like done in a few days.
How long is the Maya episode?
2 hours 20 minutes.
Fucking hell. How many listens you got on that? Like,
Tell?
how many people listen to it?
Loads.
Shit. Well, you better fucking bring home the bacon, Sonny Jim. Pressure's on.
I hope
She got,
so.
like, yeah, honestly, I get like 100 likes for that shit now. It's crazy. Anyway, right, yeah.
But yeah, I was saying
Shifty
it
sip of water.
It just depends.
Half of his followers are bots.
It just depends. It just depends on what I have to take out. Like, cause obviously I send it. To
Right.
I'll send it to you.
Did she actually have any edits?
Yeah, 3 edits.
Really? What were they?
I'm not gonna say.
Oh, of course you can't say it. Yeah. Okay.
But like, I would have thought just the camera, choosing the different camera angles would be quite long.
we had one of my exes on here, and she's a very sensible person, and I guess in a way that's why we gelled, but it's also why we didn't. And it's like, but she almost like cancelled after like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh god,
That's not the camera angles are not that bad because you just like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Right.
You just choose.
Yeah.
Flick. That's easy.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
and also he kind of edits me out when I'm having a real vape, and
I don't edit that. I don't edit that much out.
well, it's okay. Mom doesn't watch.
I might not even edit this out.
All right, whatever. Okay, so the point is, okay, let's get to the point. Okay, so
Yes. So
the
basically,
point. All right, keep it to like 10 sentences. I'm joking.
I'll try.
That's new.
I'll try.
Go.
That's new.
Boom.
Holy shit! I never thought I'd say that. I'm so sorry.
Huh?
Like now I know. Yeah, I know exactly how that feels. I had a boss who was like, Les, in 2 sentences, I want you to tell me what happened. I was like, everything's fine. Perfect. And in retrospect, that's how I should have treated the rest of my job. But oh well. All right, go on, crack on. Sorry. Okay, so you met love of your life, long distance relationship.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say love of my life because this interview is eternal, and who knows what can happen.
Well, yeah, so far. I mean,
So
that's how I
far.
put it. The love of my life so far.
Yeah, so far.
Obviously, otherwise you'd have it. Like your exes and whatever. You're just like, like.
No, I mean that's how you feel at the moment.
Yeah,
so you can
well,
say
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, everyone thinks with the love of their lives, and then they get divorced. But anyway, yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Nice
Well,
ring.
Diamond.
are you married?
Yeah, I'm married.
Oh.
His wife.
Oh, cool, man. When was the wedding?
In lockdown
COVID.
3 years ago.
In lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was meant to be one of the ushers, and then he was like,
Yeah, he was originally the groomsman.
Oh,
Then you had to
sucked.
fire you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it turned out they didn't even know because they changed the restriction from like 30 to
I could only
15.
have one of my groomsmen.
Right.
So I kept my best man and got rid of everybody else.
Did you not want to wait till after COVID? Or you
No,
just
he
wanted
chose
to-
poorly.
Somebody asked me that this week. No,
I really want to be that party.
somebody asked me that this week. Did I want to wait? I thought about waiting, but we didn't know at the time how long it was going to take.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's so
you
true.
always think,
Yeah.
like,
If
hindsight.
I knew, if
Yeah.
I knew, I would like wait a year. But
Yeah.
we didn't know.
Anyway.
That's so true.
Even my grandmother was like, "You don't know how long it's going to be."
Yeah.
Oh god, and also Boris kept changing his mind.
Yeah.
I was reporting for the Sun at the time.
Yeah.
Fuck me, those guys.
Did you guys watch the rise and fall of Boris Johnson?
So I haven't watched.
I'm sorry, I want to talk about this because this, I think, I'm not like, a massive Bojo fan, but it was the greatest documentary I've seen in a long time. Honestly, he's a very fascinating guy. And me and my mum binge watched this the last few days.
New Yorker.
For New York, yeah. Anyway, so you asked me how I met my girlfriend. We were outside in Malta.
Go on.
So we were outside outside this restaurant in Malta, and my friend, I remember because I said Brazy, and then we were with the Crips. I'm not a Crip, I'm not a Blood,
Yeah, we know.
but my friend did do the braziest thing I've ever seen anyone do, and it will go down in history as that.
What do we do?
These 2 girls and a boy were walking by, and he goes to one of the girls. Excuse me, would you like to go on a date next Thursday? Just open with that.
Yeah.
And she said yes.
Wow.
And in that moment, he didn't know what to do, obviously, because he wasn't expecting a yes. And he had a kind of his moment of like, and I was like, you have to go there. So he went over.
Just feel like catcalling girls in the street almost. Like, yeah, go on. It's like, what? Thanks. What?
So, yeah. And then they were talking, and I was with my friends, my other friend, and I was like, I should probably go over there so it doesn't seem weird for these other 2. And one of these other 2 was my current girlfriend.
Oh.
And just very meanly chatted, like they were asking for recommendations for restaurants. They left, we left, carried on with our day. Then 3 hours later,
Yeah.
who do we bump into?
Them.
But the two girls.
Cool.
And I think this is the first point.
Such a sort of like, fate type thing.
Right?
It's got vibes.
Yeah. And like at that point, I think I was kind of doing like some sort of bit of like, our friends are getting married. We gotta become friends. We gotta work together.
Give me a number.
I think honestly, at this point, I don't even think if I was even
Really?
really
Your first proper girlfriend, though, isn't she?
first girlfriend. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And at this point, I don't think I was necessarily like super interested that way. I think that over time it did, and we went to this Irish bar, and
Actually.
me and my friend, the
always
one
Irish
who called out. I think we've always have this tendency to kind of. I mean, we're both actors, so we have this tendency to kind of like try and show off.
Yeah,
to,
a little bit of peacock feathers.
I guess so. Yeah. And we're both pretty decent dancers, and so we arrived at this Irish bar. They're playing karaoke, and we just start busting moves, and this would work.
Classic.
But for these
Shit
two,
face wasted. The old left step to the old left foot, right foot. Yeah, go on.
but it didn't work, and they were just weirded out. And the only thing that saved us was our third friend. Shout out now, Maximilian Leaf. He's also an actor.
What a Max.
Great actor.
Top lad.
And because he's the most normal one of us,
Oh god.
and
There's always a normal one, isn't there?
Yeah,
It's
the normal one.
Usually it's the other way around. Yeah, I was always the weird one of our group, and I was always the one who chat with the girls. So it's like, I'd go over there, chat them up, and then the boys would clean house. And I'd just be sitting there with the other weird one. I was like, my love life was a patchwork quilt of
No
fuckery.
shit, you're definitely always the weird one.
You literally called me the star of the show the other day.
Yeah,
the star of the
weird.
show is the weird one. The weird one is
Yeah.
always the most interesting person.
Yeah. That's why I'm doing the podcast with you, because you're fucking weird.
That's not. In fact, I literally wrote down what you said because I was drunk enough to do it. You said, and I quote,
Fucking up.
"Yes, I know."
This must have meant a lot to him.
We went,
to do
we
this,
went,
honestly, I
drinking,
didn't
we
do
went
it.
drinking last week.
Yeah, like this.
I
time
said a
last
lot
week,
of drunk shit
You
to
said,
him.
"Why not be great? You are the best. Yeah, you have the best microphone. It's. This is a problem with shorthand. Anyway, it's all about you popping off. Monon gave you the best mic for a reason. He gives him some
Fucking up.
flowers
I've even
because
got that done.
I'm the star to him. I can do it.
Wow.
I will admit though that the shorthand that I wrote and the
I
normal.
can't believe you wrote that down.
I've got my little whiteboard at home, man. It
hilarious.
says "Don't do it for Marlon." Literally, on
Don't
there.
do it for Marlon.
No, it says "Do it for."
Or
it
do
says-
it for Marlon.
It says
That is
"Don't let
hilarious.
Marlon down." I came home, I was quite drunk still. And I was like, "Don't let Marlon down," and I've left it there.
That is
So, yeah.
hilarious. I didn't realize you wrote that down.
It meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to what you said.
So Marlon, I have a quick question
go on.
before we continue my story.
Back to the thing.
But I have to quickly ask: do you feel like he's let you down?
I need to do more editing.
No, I don't feel like he's letting me down. I feel like he's letting himself down. At
Jesus
times.
Christ,
Damn.
we had to do this online.
Yeah.
All right. Fuck's sake.
How is he letting himself down?
No, because
no,
I feel like he's
it's a fear of
a
success.
talented person, and he just needs to realize that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's like part of the ADHD is that you can achieve these amazing things, but you never see your merits over the flaws because you're always looking for that flaw. Because as a kid, like growing up with ADHD, you get criticized a lot more than the average person. You're always being told, "All right, settle down." Little nudges towards you're too much. I hear that a lot. I hear less is more, too much, shit like that. So you're never really sure where the boundary is. Where is too much and where is brilliant.
Yes.
And it's
I would
like
say-
where is the line for everyone else? And I've
I'll
never
say
understood.
that's all right.
That's why you understand.
I'll say that's all correct, but I just need somehow if you're able to control it, where you're able to put under too much at times, like
Yeah,
how
but
you
the
might
fine-
have to do in your films,
Yeah, but the line
and then like rein it back a bit. If you're able to somehow figure out how to do that somehow.
That's why
think
you need.
it's
It's
a
why
very-
when you write, for example, I don't.
It's a
do-
hard one though. It's a very hard.
I think
one.
it's what
It's
I
why
was
we
saying
need
earlier
the
about
work
balance,
ethic.
right? And that's
Yeah,
what that
you
is.
push
And
it.
I think it's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
You want to
is
give
find that
everything, but you
balance.
don't know how much is too much. I mean, for example, like the last job I did, it was like they were like, "We need you to write a really good article," and then they actually wanted 600 words. Well, one of the person said,
What does that
"Well,
mean? 600 words, like
600
not
words
good.
a page and a bit, and you just like the average page is about 500, but it depends how you space it out and whatever. But but what I'm saying is that it's like like when you're not given a definitive quantity, then then it's limitless, and unless you give it, and then when everyone else is like, oh, like we like to think outside the box, and this is one of the questions I've been asking in my interviews. So what does a box look like? And people are like, oh, we like to think outside the box, and everyone else kind of seems to get that. But actually, when you've got an imagination and you've got like the creativity and the power of like all of the ideas and that generation that comes to idea, with ADHD, and like you're told you have no limits. then you will create and build and build and build until you're exhausted. And that's a beautiful thing. But when the job requires a succinct answer, that's why, for example, we tend to go off tangents. We try and give the whole backstory when it doesn't need to be there necessarily. We build a world for people instead of just write in a couple of paragraphs. Like let's say the cat sat on the mat. Like we'll use all the adjectives. We'll create a backstory for the fucking cat. The cat, Mr. Tibblesworth, was a short little cat. He didn't like his left leg. It was stumpy. And because you picture this world, like what's going on, and you try and describe the picture, and the picture paints 1,000 words. It's probably why we speak so fast. But also, it is to do with evolution, I think, because in my a piece that I wrote actually about how the role of ADHD over history is that we used to be the hunter gatherers, we used to be the night watchmen. And so we were the best hunters, we were the best, because we have all these other little bits, like, for example, if something clicks behind me, I know exactly where it is. I know everything, and at nighttime I feel quite calm, but I can hear everything. I can feel it. And it's really weird. And everyone else is like, oh, we're just camping. I do not sleep when we're camping. But I'm typically, I will go to bed at like 2 a.m. I will wake up at 11, things like that. And it's like, because that's when everyone else is more alert and I don't have to worry. But until 2 a.m, I'm almost on guard. I'm watching TV nowadays, but that's the whole difficulty of having ADHD is that you've evolved these senses, and we were fundamentally, I believe, fundamental to survival in tribal periods where you have like nighttime raids, things like that. You can hear it, you can feel it. If someone's that alert, that quick, that and we're also very into our exercise. We have all that excess energy because it's not being used to hunt. And so we had to go to the gym more. We had to do this and that. And, but then again, we also have that motivation thing of now and not now. So it's like, for example, when I'm looking for jobs, I'll do 40 hours worth of work in the space of 4 hours because I'll get hyper-focused. I'll just go, bash out a load of stuff. Yeah. But then for the rest of the week, or for the next day, I'll just be like, because there's no sense of urgency. If there's a sense of urgency, if there's some, if there's urgency, interest, stuff like that, the kind of things that, like, for example, if there's a deer running through the forest and we're hungry, I'll find that fucking deer, and that makes us quite creepy in the real world now because it's like, if someone upsets us, I mean, for example, when my motorbike got stolen, I hunted little cunts down. I know their address is 11 Comet Way in Birkenhead is the address that the teenagers that stole my motorbike. That's their address. And it took me 3 days to find them. The police hadn't even got their asses. That's the difference. And I did that through Facebook, through social media, through my skills as a journalist. I found the little cunt. And the only reason I couldn't go and get it myself was because the police told me there would be vigilantes and they'd have to arrest me. They got in the way of their own investigation. But anyway, I digress. The point is that, we're very, very naturally very, very good at this kind of thing. But in this world, now we're in modernity where everyone has to be placid, everyone has to be a farmer, everyone has to be sort of, you can't go on the attack, you can't be aggressive, you can't be, passive. You have to be passive. You have to be, malleable. You have to fit in with the herd, but you can't do that if you if you're not built to do that. Yeah. That's why there's that disconnect, and that's why we end up with a lot of depression, a lot of anxieties. If it's all calm and nothing's happening, that's when ADHD people are like the most like, because you need something to be happening. And for example, but if this apartment went on fire, I'd know exactly what to do. I'd take all of you out, no problem at all. I'd be actually,
I would know what to do as well.
I'd be super duper calm. I have the baby in the bag, everything. And but I'd have it all sorted out, and everyone else gets freaked out, and there's me just like, thank God, because that's the most relaxed I get. Same with things like sex and whatever. You just you're very good at what you do because you're determined to win, and it's just Hey, you ever hear a complaint?
Well. That one girl.
Which one? None of them. Thank you. Anyway, the point
I'm not
is
going to name her.
Oh, yeah, but she was a bitch. But she just didn't like me. She didn't like me, man. She was but she was mean. Anyway, and she had a reputation as well. So anyway, the point is that
you already know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And to be fair though, still shagged her. Anyway, so the point is that so let's get back to your love life before I start talking about my brain. So you met her, she's Portuguese, you're dancing, she's like not having it, then you're having it a bit more. What's going on?
Long story short.
Yeah, that was the story. We met before. Have I said this to you before? I do remember. I feel like after it happened, I literally would go around and just telling the story to every single person that I'd meet. So maybe I didn't mean you knew the story.
When you're in love, you're just like not obsessed in a creepy way, but you're just like, you're everything. You know, like, yeah. I mean, honestly, I keep bringing up my girlfriend, for example, and like no one knows who the hell she is. Like, you know, she ain't coming on here. Like, she doesn't even listen to this thing. I don't think. You know,
Why not? Does she
I
not?
really hope she doesn't.
She follows us on Instagram and all that. And look, watch our videos.
Aw, she's the best. Anyway, yeah, she'll bet. Anyway, yeah. So, right. Oh, she's lovely, isn't she? Yeah. Anyway, right.
Look, see, he's having that moment now.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're both in love, yeah?
Well, are you not? She's right there.
I'm joking. Of course I'm married. Right. I'm the one that's married here.
But are you in love? No, I'm joking. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going there. All right. Okay, so you meet the girl. Jesus Christ, it's been an hour and a half of this shit. All right, okay, so
2 hours and a half.
Jesus, you met the girl.
Is this your longest episode?
No.
Or do you do?
No.
What's
No,
the longest?
3.5. I think
The one with Curly
Wordy.
Wordy.
3.5 hours.
3.5.
Yeah, he almost cried.
Down.
So, get to the end of the story. Everyone cross yourselves.
After 2 hours.
Okay, so you met the girl. She goes to the. She's in the. You're doing the 1 step, 2 step.
I'm doing the 1
She
step,
ain't
2
feeling
step.
it.
I'm not feeling it. And luckily, our friend Max was there, just being normal and just having a normal conversation with them.
Okay.
And so they were still mildly interested. And then they just couldn't anymore, and they just buggered off. And they were like, "Okay, bye." And yeah, again, at that point, I wasn't that invested. You know, I was like, "Okay, cool,
Well, yeah,
whatever."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like we go out into the area. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the Soho of Malta, basically, where like all the kind of clubs are.
Fantastic.
And we go there, and my friend Max is like, "Oh, well, they said they're going to be in this area. I'm sure I can find them." And he went around, and somehow he found them.
Wow.
And he brought them to us.
Small place.
It is a very small island.
It is kind of it's a small island. Yeah.
Go on.
I think the whole island is smaller than London.
Doesn't matter. Go on.
Uh,
Stay on track. Come on. I can't believe I'm the one saying this. This is really weird.
But yeah, so I think that was the moment I was like, oh, interesting. And I think that's when I told her, I was like, oh, I think you're very attractive. And
You use those words, you sexy bitch.
I think I did. And then we went in.
Definitely 18.
And then we went into the club, and you know, yeah, she wasn't, as you said, she wasn't really feeling me, and she wasn't really sure, you know, and
Never are.
yeah. And then they leave, and I was like, kind of sad, but I was like, okay, whatever. And then I woke up the next morning, and I just couldn't stop thinking about her. And then I went down. My two friends had already woken up, and they'd gone had breakfast, and I go there, and I asked my friend, who was obviously speaking to other girls, like, oh, what's happening with them? And he goes, oh, they've left. And I get really sad.
No.
And he's such an idiot. Because they hadn't left. He was like, I just wanted to see how serious you are.
You met her yesterday, for fuck's sake. Why did you need to have a chat?
Oh, because remember, we're all actors, so we're all very dramatic. And he's probably the most dramatic of us all.
Like, you know, that's a dick move. Like, you know, it's just like, I just want to know how much you care before I let you qualify to chat up that random girl. You know, like, okay, yeah, go on.
Yeah. But yeah, then they were still in Malta. But I remember they were actually supposed to leave that day,
Right.
but for some reason they ended up staying. And then we met them in the Irish bar again. It turns out after we left, they went back to the Irish bar that night.
Okay.
And so that as we went there again and kind of just hung out and went to the bar, and again, similar to the night before, you know, like she wasn't really feeling me, and then she was like, I would kind of go up to her, and then she'd dance with me, and then she'd be like, oh, nah. And this would continue all the night until like
hot and cold, man. I mean, honestly, it sounds like a lot of effort.
it was the most effort I've ever put into
Well, clearly, I mean, you haven't had a
pursuing a girl.
Yeah.
And then like near the end, like we do it again, and finally we kiss, and it was the greatest kiss of that until then. You know, it was like super magical. And yeah, then afterwards, like we walked her home and said goodbye.
Was it your
And
first kiss?
no, my first kiss that was
16.
the first kiss was actually on camera.
Wow.
In that film.
Wow.
And they didn't even use it. And I was so nervous.
What
The
film?
City of Tiny Lights, the first film I did.
Really?
Yeah, my first kiss was in
shit.
that. And I was so nervous. And the worst thing about that, the boyfriend of the girl who I was kissing
I've
was
always
there
wondered
as an
about
extra.
actors. Yeah.
Oh my
God, no.
So it was like so much pressure.
Just like keeping eyes on him, like he's not going to swing, Security. You know, it's in the script. It's in the script.
Is that a good film, by the way? After you're gonna say yes.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not been published, though, is it?
It's out.
It's out. I think you
I'm
can
just
still watch
gonna
it on
watch
Netflix.
that. I just want to see your first kiss now. I was gonna.
It's not in there.
Link
I'm gonna check it out.
It's not in there.
I'm gonna check that for.
Anyway, all right.
Looks good.
So you meet the girl, you kiss her,
We
and
kiss, and I walk her home, and then I go back to my apartment, and the same thing happened with my friend.
Very
We
gentlemanly,
walked her home,
yeah.
and we were just very sad, you know, and like.
Sad.
Because, oh, sorry, I forgot to mention they were leaving in
Oh,
like
okay.
4 hours. That was
Oh,
the
wow.
cruise part.
I mean, they stayed out quite late then. I mean, like, you know, like
yeah. And,
Usually it's a case of like, you know, like, oh shit, get him. You know, like, yeah, go on.
yeah. And like, you know, super sad. And then the next day, I was really just thinking like, you know, I'm not gonna do anything.
Yeah,
Like,
you
she lives in
never do,
Portugal.
yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous. For before, I wouldn't even consider like, you know, someone from Watford,
Nobody else.
for example. You know,
Watford
So-
is far.
Watford is far, dude.
Watford is far.
Watford is hella far.
And also it's Watford. Fuck.
Yeah.
You're gonna find in Watford. It's like,
Exactly.
where are you from? Watford. Oh. You know, like, Watford. It's like Slough. Ugh.
Yeah. this
Anyway,
is-
yeah. Sorry, we've got 5 minutes left. Go on.
So I was like, you're gonna forget about it, and just, you know, it was a nice memory, it was a nice thing on holiday.
Yeah.
And then my friend was like, you may as well message her, you never know what's gonna
Yeah.
happen. And so I messaged her, and we were messaging, and I think we made a joke like that we were gonna go to Lisbon, and
That's that why she's from Lisbon, Portugal.
well, yeah, Lisbon and Port.
That's
She
very
lives in. She was at the time she lived in Lisbon. So and so did her friend. And we kind of when we met them, we were like making a joke, like, "Oh yeah, we're going to Lisbon for my birthday because it's my birthday coming up soon." And then I started talking to her, and you know, we were speaking a lot, and like, yeah, finding out we get along, and I was like, you know, I think I might go to Lisbon for my birthday.
Oh.
And then we
went
had
to
another. We
Lisbon
had
for her?
within a month we had our second lads' holiday to Lisbon. We all went to Lisbon.
Wow.
And
Wow. Did
yeah.
you say it hers or?
we well, no, because you know we just
We
met.
talked for a month.
Yeah, but
I mean, you know, you need someone to stay.
no, we
All right, fair enough. All right, not,
we,
that,
we,
not at that stage yet. All right.
It wasn't at that stage yet for sure.
Yeah, keep
That is very weird, by the way.
you go all that way. I mean, like, you know, you got a friend there. You
It's
might as
very
well.
weird. That would be
I say
very
yours, well, was it?
weird. No, you wouldn't.
All right.
It's a different.
It's very weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But anyway, so we
Works in
got
the
a
past,
place.
mate.
We
Works
got
in the past. Not my weirdest date either. Go on.
so we got an Airbnb, and you know, I think the first time I saw her, she was going to the Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Oh,
and then she was like sad because she had to go with her cousin. She was like, "Oh, I'm not able to see you, but let me see if I can get you a ticket."
You went all that way. She couldn't even get. Okay, yeah, go on.
So she tried to get me a ticket, and then the guy that sold her a ticket didn't get, like, basically double crossed her. And I was like, "Fuck it, I'm buying a ticket." Got the ticket. It was a great night. Saw her every night. At the end of it, took her out for a super expensive meal. It was her friend that recommended me this place, and it was like super expensive. But I asked her to be my girlfriend at that dinner.
Cute.
And I kept the receipt. I've
done that as well for my first date. I've still got my on my wall. Yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, like, yeah, we went
sentimental.
to
That's really cute.
Yeah, that was it. And then we went to Malaga, like, for our first like trip, and
Like
kind of been, you know, meeting in the middle and going back and forth.
She's
But
literally a girl in every port. You know, like she's your girl in every port.
what?
A girl in every port. It's like a sailor expression. You
Oh, I
Girl
don't.
in every port.
Oh,
Never
right,
mind,
okay.
Never mind. It's a bit too.
Did
old
you get
school.
that the girl in report? I don't.
All right, never mind. Yep, go on.
But yeah, but that's it, you know. And it's now I'm in my first relationship. It's a long distance
How long have you been
relationship,
together?
and it's like I don't know, 10 months. It was in June.
That's a lot.
Last June.
You're not finding it a bit pressury?
100%. And I
Is there
have to
any
keep.
plans for her to come over here, or you go over there, or
Yeah, we go back and forth, you know, and we'll
how often do you
meet.
see each other?
At the moment, it's very sporadic, you know, because my life is obviously very unpredictable. Like, and she works a normal job.
Oh, God.
So
Ugh.
yeah, so she also doesn't really give you that much
I
time
work
off.
a normal job.
Say again.
I think I work a normal job.
What do you do as your normal
You do
job?
not want to know.
Or do we
A
not?
very,
Is
very boring job.
there something?
He's a cop. No, I'm joking. It's
Interesting.
not.
I'm a drug
As soon as you
dealer.
say him, yeah, he's a drug dealer. Yeah. The rap game didn't work out, so he's
Right.
living the life.
Let me try and make a rap career after I've lived the life.
On the way home after all
Exactly,
this, by the
yeah,
way. Yeah, but anyway, all right, let's wrap it up. Okay, so you on your way over here, you were talking about how you had. By the way, absolutely delighted that you found a girl who's absolutely lovely. I'm sure she's beautiful and whatever. You know, I mean, all the best. And I think it's absolutely gorgeous the fact that you kind of keep meeting these exotic places. It's really cool. Remember the death of Princess Diana?
I don't
He
remember.
was married to King Charles.
I know who she is. I am aware of her.
Like same age as you. I didn't know who she was when she died. It's only when she died that the whole thing was like a shitstorm.
Oh yeah, it's a shit again.
But I didn't know who she was before she died.
I remember
Really?
crying on
Was
TV.
I would have thought that she would have been the most famous.
I had no idea.
is.
But to be
The
fair, I was like, I was only seven. I was
my
7
famous
years old. I was 7, 8 years old.
Right.
So I had no idea who she was.
Yeah.
So I got it's weird because it was like a family member of ours died.
Oh, it's weird.
I got a phone call in the middle of the night from my uncle who was working security
the
guard,
national.
and he called my mum at like 4 in.
I've never seen national grief like it.
He called my mum at 4 in. I remember because I'm like the phone's ringing, and you know that time in the morning somebody's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was like Princess Diana died, and my mum like went to me like, yeah, Princess Diana died. I was like, who?
But were your family like emotional? Were they crying about
No,
it?
they weren't crying, but it's just that the fact that we received the phone call at 4 in the morning. Like, can you imagine?
Yeah, and it's a house phone.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's a house phone. Like,
you're just
like the whole house. The whole house knows about it. So I'm like, my mom tells to me like, I'm like, what? And then she's like,
tears in her eyes.
she's like, Marlon, I don't have to tell you this, but Princess Diana died.
Who gives a fuck?
And I'm like, who?
Yeah, like I mean, like, when you think about it now, it's like Angelina Jolie's dead. All right, it's like
I've never seen anything like
she's
it
not
before.
but-
What in terms of
The
the
reaction.
right? What about when the Queen died?
No, it wasn't that. It was
Not
like,
the same scale.
I was at work, and then somebody goes to me, I think the Queen's dead.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
like,
Queen's
she
dying.
died of cancer.
I'm like, oh shit.
She got bone
But
cancer.
to be fair, I was upset about
She's
it.
like 90. Of course
Yeah.
she's gonna
Yeah,
die.
I was
She's like
upset.
98 or something.
I was upset about because you've seen this person your whole life.
Yeah, it
But-
still doesn't feel like it's.
Yeah.
I'd much rather die for Queen and Country
Yeah.
if I was to be like as 00
Yeah.
something. It's like 00 Leslie.
Yeah.
And it's like, like, it's just like, I'd much rather die for Queen and Country. There's something
Yeah.
romantic about
Yeah.
it, even though I'm not.
I was very
She's dead.
I was
Good to clarify,
I'm not
yeah.
a necrophiliac.
I
or
was very
anything,
sad, but
it's
like,
like,
I
yeah.
remember Queen. Like,
But for Queen and Country,
I
it sounds
remember-
so much sexier than for Charles.
I remember,
like, ugh.
I remember when Princess died, it was like in the middle of the night. We got a phone call. It was like weird. Like the Queen was like, I was at work. Somebody said to me, I think the Queen's gonna die. And then I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah, I remember.
And then I
was
got
trying
home.
to-
And
Wait,
then-
you had a phone call from someone saying, "I think the Queen's going to die."
No, I got a phone call about
her mum's
Princess
always,
Diana.
his mum's always the phone.
Oh,
But when the Queen died, somebody at work turned to me and said, I think the Queen's
Yeah,
gonna
we
die.
saw it coming. I mean, like, she stopped
And I was
doing
like,
public
oh
engagement.
shit. And I got home, turned on the news. I don't watch the news normally. And I was then like, oh, the Queen is dead. And I got like a notification on my phone. I was like, oh shit.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
But it was like Princess Diana. It was like a member of the family that you got that phone call.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's like, it's really weird. Like when that happened, like it's just
Yeah.
like everyone just freaked out and it's
Because
like,
like
why?
you know, like somebody in your family died, you call somebody. No matter what time it is, like 3 in the morning, you call them.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
your mum's dead.
Yeah.
That's.
But it'd be
the
weird
kind
if somebody goes to me, "Oh, Michael Jackson died at 3 in the morning." I'm like, "Why the fuck are you calling me at 3 in the morning?" Tell me that.
Yeah, I've got
weird.
Instagram notice
But I
on
think
there
also
already.
the difference probably was with then and like the Queen now is that it was like before the internet.
Yeah,
so you wouldn't get the
has
pings.
kind of killed that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pings is like everyone knows
Yeah.
already. It's like I mean, I remember doing like
Yeah, you have to actually call people to be like, "This has happened."
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
they might not know. They might
Yeah.
not. Whereas
It's
everyone
like,
knows.
it's really weird. It's like like why is everyone crying in the street kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. Okay, so should we wrap it up?
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Steve,
I'm on a white.
and
I was Reiss Kershi.
thank you very much for listening. All right, see you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers. All
That
right.
was great.